Hey, y'all. Got a message from one of my kids today. What's up, David? He asks, are we building towards an actual revolution, or is all of this drama going to be over fairly soon? Well, to answer that, let me show you this.
This is coming to us via Twitter. This is coming from the Whittier neighborhood. I don't know if there's sound on it or not, but these are police officers moving through the streets of the Whittier neighborhood.
Oh, I did see this. This is.
Get inside! Get your house down! Let's go!
Might want to go inside.
Go inside now! Right in the house!
When cops tell you to go in the house because they're clearing the streets because of 2 days of riots, get in the house. Oh, incidentally, all the folks in that video, they're white. Now, this is what happens after 2 days of riots. What the hell do you think the response would be if there was an actual uprising going on? If it was a real fight, it wouldn't last very long, but a lot of innocent people would get caught in the crossfire, which brings us to the real question. Why are we even having this conversation in the first place? The sad truth is, most of the people that are starting the riots and driving this drama, they don't even live in the neighborhoods. They want violence. They want a revolution. They want innocent death that they can blame on the police and government. They really think that if they can burn down the system, that they can rebuild America in their own anarchist socialist image. They're what Vladimir Lenin called useful idiots. Let's be clear. Racism is real. Bias exists, and police brutality is no joke. But it's really not the problem that it's being made out to be. Because the real culprits behind all this drama is the media and politicians that use racial tension and class division to gain power. They use these events to increase their visibility, raise money, or drive traffic to their websites and get more subscriptions and try to get rich and famous that way. Basically, it's all about money and power, like it always is. History is replete with demagogues who have manipulated public opinion to gain power. Going back to the Roman bread and circuses, the powerful have used the masses to gain and hold power throughout human history. I'm going to say something that some folks won't like, but the less you like it, the more you have to hear it. There is no epidemic of police brutality. Cops are not hunting black folks. Black folks are not disproportionately victims of police shootings. I know that's hard to hear, but look at this. This is an empirical analysis of racial differences in police use of force, research done by Roland Fryer from Harvard University back in 2017. You can download a PDF of it and read it for yourself. He found no racial bias in police shootings. The most he was able to confirm was the disproportionate use of force when dealing with black and brown suspects. But that's kind of easy to explain if you understand that black and brown suspects that believe the racist narrative are naturally going to be more hostile when dealing with police. We won't actually know the cause until we do more honest research and examine objective data. Now, Roland Fryer did his research in Houston back in 2017, but others have done similar research in other localities and come to very similar results. So why hasn't this been repeated across the nation? Why isn't everybody looking at these stats? My guess? It'll destroy the media narrative that politicians and activists use to keep us at each other's throats for their own political and financial gain. Ask yourself, where do these riots tend to occur? What jurisdictions allow the riots to spin out of control or allow a peaceful demonstration to become a riot in the first place? How much news coverage have you seen of the peaceful protests? They're out there. They are happening. What about reports where the police have actually joined the protesters? What about black business owners who've lost everything? Now, that was from the LA riots, but the same thing is happening in Minneapolis now. What about these businesses that can't reopen or won't even open in the first place? What about the jobs that have been lost in the short term and the opportunities that are going to be lost in the long term because businesses won't open in these communities for legitimate fear as well as increased insurance premiums? At a certain point, you can't keep complaining about the lack of opportunities in communities that are prone to this kind of violence because they're being manipulated and played by the media and by politicians who claim to be their saviors. So what can we do about it? Well, first, we can start having honest conversations about the conditions in these communities. We can talk about what the bottom line causes actually are and who's really responsible. Everybody's talking about holding the cops responsible, but what about the public officials that allowed this bad cop to rack up over a dozen offenses in 15 years and kept him on the job? Ask these people complaining on social media, when was the last time they went to a city council or a county commission meeting? Or if they've ever been to one. Ask them who their local officials are. Ask who they elected as sheriff, or if they even voted in the last election. Change comes from 3 boxes: the soap box, the ballot box, and the cartridge box. In that order, you talk to your public officials. If that doesn't work, you vote in new ones. And when that doesn't work, then you fight. But only as a last resort, when you have no other options. You don't resort to violence until you've exhausted the first 2 options. And a lot of these people that are rioting, they haven't even tried the first 2 options. Y'all, David, free speech is more than bitching on social media, carrying a sign, and occasionally throwing a rock. Grow up, get involved, but first get informed. You're being lied to. Don't let them use you. I'm the mister, and I'm just trying to help. Disproportionate use of force when dealing with the same thing is happening now in Minneapolis. Minneapolis isn't a place. There's no place. Minneapolis doesn't exist. It's Minneapolis. There's an extra set of N's in there.